Hey everyone, welcome to Empower Team Monday Night Call. We are doing a Ruby recap. If at any point I cut out completely, one of my leaders, please text me because I am on a hotspot right now. So we just got back from Ruby Retreat. I'm sure if you've seen our posts, you've seen our stories, and we are so excited and full. We are bringing so much back home for everyone. And so we want to share everything that we took away, what the experience was really like. And yeah, so just to start off with, Ruby Retreat can only be earned when you hit the rank of Ruby. And so it's for Rubies and up. And it is honestly my favorite trip of the year. Next to Emerald Extravaganza, probably tied, because it's such an intimate setting. We're all in one place, leaders from other team, we're all in one place, and it's just so much quality time. And it is so you get to fill up. You are just being poured into for days, and you have the opportunity to talk to other people. It's like one big giant mastermind. What are you doing? Encouragement, love, and connection. And it is just embodies the heart of what it is to really be all in with Plexus, and the community that you get when you go all in and you decide to be a part of it and get to that level. So what it was like is, first of all, just to cast a little vision for y'all, we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee for 3 nights. We were in the 2 cabin mansions, indoor pool, hot tub, multiple theaters. It was amazing. It was our 2nd year there. And absolutely any single person on this call can be there next year. We might have to move to a bigger location. We'll have to see, but no matter where we go, it's going to be incredible. Every single year, I've been to 5 Ruby retreats now, and every single year it gets better and better and better. And I'm always like, how do they keep topping themselves? I don't get it. And so really the jewels on Pink Power, we all come together and we brainstorm and we put it all together, and we invest a lot of money into it, and we plan the training and we collaborate, and it's a really big deal. And so yeah, we're having PJ parties every night. We're doing karaoke. We're giving lots and lots of hugs, so many great conversations. And the training is just incredible. So let me go over some of the topics that we covered when you're Ruby Retreat. And so I think, like, pay attention to this, because these are important things that all of the diamonds, all the jewels thought, okay, when you're a Ruby, when you're really all in and you're getting to that point, what things do Ruby and up need the most? What do we need training on? And so I wrote down some of the topics. Some of the topics were money mindset. So important that you have a strong money mindset when you're doing this. And it's something that we as women have to be very intentional to work on, because it's not something that we're fed a lot. And so anyways, that's the first thing. Money mindset, how to lead yourself. You have to lead yourself. We don't have bosses. We have to become excellent at self-leadership. Lots of vision casting in almost every single person's training. Vision casting was mentioned. And so there is the art of vision casting, which Michelle Stuchel just posted to her YouTube. So you can go get that Ruby Retreat training without being a Ruby. And I think that's a really awesome bonus. And I think that everyone should find out these trainings and watch them. Emotional maturity was something that we talk about every single year. I hear that going, we trained on emotional maturity last year and we did it again this year, because emotional maturity is one of the most important things that you need to get a hold of to be successful doing this. You have to know how to emotionally handle the ups and downs. You have to know how to emotionally handle conflict, how to emotionally handle problem solving, how to lead other people through difficulties, which requires emotional maturity. And so that's probably something we're going to continue to train on year after year, because it is crucial to get that down. How to coach people. That was another topic. Long game mentality. That was another topic. I had the honor of training on personal momentum through purpose and identity. And there were lots of jewel highlights from other leaders, and a lot of similar themes. And so it was just like, it just filled all of us up. I mean, even being Sapphire, I ate up every single training. And that just goes to show you that you never grow out of the need for constant training, because just like belief leaks, vision leaks, training leaks, you have to be reminded of it all the time. And so yeah, that's really, what it was like. I would say I've been talking a lot and I want to pass it on, but I want to point out that, oh gosh, what was I going to say? I have all these notes in front of me. What was the overwhelming theme? I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, I'll come back to it. What?
Legacy?
Yeah, the overall theme was legacy, but anyway, I forgot. I was going to say something else and I just forgot. I'm out of my element here. But anyways, I'll come back to it and I will pass it off to Toba.
Well, if you think of it, just interrupt me. Guys, Natalie hit the nail on the head with everything. The best way I can describe it is, think of one of the best team calls you've ever been on, and you just don't want it to end, and it's so inspiring. It's that for 48 hours. It's just, so when you think it can't get any better, it really does. And you're not distracted. I don't care how hard you try. While you're immersed in your life, your brain can only focus so much on your business. So there's something to be said for being able to kind of isolate yourself in a good way there. So I have a few mindset takeaways. I always love talking about mindset stuff, but these are the ones that resonated with me. Some of them you've heard before, some of them maybe not. The first thing I want to say, and I have not always held this as a fact, and I've had to learn it, that you are the author of your story, and you're the author of the stories you're telling yourself. Now, these stories start when we're really little with our circumstances and with our parents, but guys, you have control of them now. That doesn't mean they're all easy to rewrite, but step one is you need to identify what stories you are telling yourself and if they're helping or impeding your business. And then we need to just pick some new stories. And there's some tangible ways to do that, practical ways that we'll talk about in future trainings about how to rewrite the story to yourself. So I encourage you to stop thinking and dwelling on what feels hard, what feels challenging, which are your weaknesses. Not to say you don't need to be aware of those and work on those, but we say it all the time, what you focus on expands. And so if you're constantly chewing on things I need to fix and things I need to improve on too much, I think you can kind of get off focus a little bit than thinking about your vision, where you're going, where I'm headed, all my successful jewels who are waiting on me to talk to them. So you have to have that in your mind's eye, that I can see it. I have 6 level 1 diamonds that, some I've talked to already and some I haven't, that are waiting on me. And I know what that feels like and what it's going to look like. So start dwelling on that. Who is counting on you to reach out to them, and who is depending on you, their future is dependent on you to be bold and brave. Because that's not just a dramatic statement. I don't like the drama. Facts, guys. There are people out there desperate for health, desperate for feeling freedom from their current situation and job or relationships, desperate for dreams that they think they have to give up on, so many situations, and they're praying for solutions. And the last thing on their mind is vitamins or network marketing, guys. But God's going to insert it at the right time, but it's a law of timing. And our job as good stewards of this opportunity is to be presenting it. So catch yourself when you're thinking about how this message might make me feel. I'm so scared to send this. I don't know if I'm going to put the right wording. I'm going to think about that person's needs. So I'm going to send the message, even if it feels scary. This person's future is worth it. And then this was another thing that's kind of laced in this is I promise whatever decision you make, people will judge you. I can 100% guarantee it. You will always, especially with social media, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're a working mom, breastfeeding mom, formula mom, like everything, network marketing, traditional business, someone is going to judge you. And it's like a hobby for people. Oh, she should do this instead, or she shouldn't have done that. Ignore it, guys. Drop it. They're not waking up and living your future. So if you feel called to be here, which I think you do, you wouldn't be signed into this call, commit to that vision and literally release it. Those are unnecessary weights that you're carrying around. And Christina says it perfectly. You can be the ripest, juiciest, most beautiful peach in the bunch, and somebody's still going to hate peaches. All right. Doesn't matter how perfect you are and how ripe you are. So stop worrying so much about how people are going to react. That's not our focus. Our focus is your next diamond that we got to talk to. So whoever we got to get through, that's where you're keeping your vision. If we focus on our fears and obstacles. Okay, so here was two things, two kind of questions that were just like, ooh, I'm going to think on those. So if I or the leaders, if we could sit down with you and guarantee that we could solve every fear you have and every obstacle you have. We sit down with like all of our notes and we're going to fix it, and we fix it. So they're solved. How would you show up to work the next day? What would be your thoughts? What would be your posture? What would be your actions at work the next day if we had taken away your fears and obstacles? And what would that life look like? You need to answer those questions and write them down. And that is what you need to meditate on and show up as. And then the last thing before I pass it off, they said this, and I've never thought of quitting, but man, there's days when this is hard. But they say to ask yourself, what are you going to give up if you ever gave up? You won't have a convicting answer to that if you don't sit down and really get your vision, not just what's your why. No, this is a lot more than that. It's being pensive and reflective, and it's scary, guys. It's scary to think about, what is my life going to look like if you gave me all the money and solved all my problems? What am I going to do with it after I buy all the things? What's my calling? What am I going to do? And that needs to be convicting, so that when things are scary, when things are overwhelming, and stop thinking it's not going to be hard. I love that. Fallon stood up there and said, y'all, you're going to make in her Southern accent that I can't do. It's like Southern mixed with Yankee. Why are you thinking making a brain surgeon salary in less than 10 years is going to be easy? It's not. Is it possible? 1,000% possible. Is it going to take a lot of learning, a lot of discomfort? So is going to med school and debt. So is being up all night in residency. So is being up on 24-hour shifts. So are deployments. There's a lot of crap that's worse than what we have to do, guys. So embrace the discomfort, embrace the challenge. Know that those challenges usually mean right on the other side of the door is a big blessing. And so be excited for challenges and be excited for where you find yourself. That's all I got to say.
Hey guys. Okay, so this is my second Ruby retreat. And before I get into my biggest takeaways, which by the way was really hard to even narrow down, because I mean, at one point, I remember Tova was saying something about her hand, because literally the whole time you're just writing, because it's so good. And they are going to post the recordings, and I would recommend all of you going and watching every single recording, because it's just so good. Like, they take so much time and prepare, like Natalie said, what we need to hear. They've been there and all of that. And so it was really hard for me to narrow down my biggest takeaways. But before I share those, I just want to say that when you get there with the rubies and emerald and sapphires and diamonds, you see people like nobody looks the same. Nobody has the same personality. Nobody has the same strengths, and everybody is needed. And so when I get there, it just makes me believe even more like I can do this, because it's not like everybody looks the same physically, mentally, like everything is so different. And I'm like, yes, the world needs me too, like how I come. So before I get into that, I had to say that it just builds your belief like no other. But one of my biggest takeaways, because it's been something that I've struggled with, has been the money mindset. And Brittany Howard spoke on it. It was our first, I think she opened it up with the first training. And it's just been something, it's something I'm still digging into, why I've had it. It comes from back to my childhood. And there's just been something around me, you know, like, oh, is it wrong that I want to be like wealthy? Is it wrong that I want this for my family, that I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck? But she really addressed all of it. And some of the stuff that I highlighted that she shared was a desire to make more money does not mean love of money. And that right there, I'm like, yes. And she says to pursue wealth is a God-given desire. Your desires are what make you a useful person to society who will make a difference. And that it ultimately comes down to like, you can't give what you don't have. And if you do want to make a difference and be good in the world, like it takes money. Money is a resource that's up there with oxygen. And for you to not want to be in poverty or want to live in abundance, that is not wrong. And you may have the mindset like me. And I'm just telling you guys, it's something I've had to work on. And I really hope you'll like dig into that. Any of those things. I don't remember who said it. So many speakers was saying, if it's something that you immediately like feel like, whoa, you know, like, oh, I shouldn't feel, or I don't know, something like resistance, you should dig deeper into it, because it's probably something you should be doing or a mindset you should really look at. And so money is a tool to help you live out your core values. And she touched on figuring out what your core values are. And she said, ask yourself this, in 5 years from now, your life, if your life looked exactly the same, would you be okay with that? More importantly, would God be okay with that? Because God has created us to live in abundance. He's called us to the abundant life. He wants us to expand and grow. She used like the parable of the talents in the Bible, if you go look at that, which is so good. And money does not change people. It brings out what is already there. Because that's another fear. Like some people, oh my gosh, so if I do make a lot of money, you know, is that going to make me into a person I don't even recognize? And it's not. She says, money does not change people. It brings out what is already there. It's a magnifying glass. And then lastly, on the money mindset, you know, she talks about habits, and you should still be very good with habits with your money, because you can make all the money in the world, and if you just spend it, you're still not going to have any money. And so there's like the whole principle behind that, which is so good. So my second takeaway after money mindset was actually a conversation off to the side, and we were having lunch, and Natalie asked Fallon, what do you think your slight edge has been? And one of the first things she said was, I don't give in to excuses. She said, like, it doesn't matter if you're sick. I learned to work sick. Like if I was sick, I don't just say, well, I can't show up because I'm not feeling good. I would say, all right, I'm sick. So how can I still work or get what needs to be done? How can I get that done? And she said something funny, like if you have an eyelash in your eye and you can't see or something, I don't know, use your other eye. You can't make excuses, because you will find them. That's the thing, is like everybody, like every single day you can say why you can't show up or why you can't accomplish what needs to be done. And she said, I've never done that. I don't give in to excuses, and I find a way, which I think also goes into like feelings. You don't let your feelings get in the way, because if you just waited to feel like showing up, you'd never get anything done with anything. So lastly, it was, I think Christina that said it, was saying that you need to pay yourself first in this business, and that you need to do what is important first and not what feels urgent. And that is huge in this business, because if you don't take care of you, which comes down to visible leadership also, you know, you doing the work, you doing your power hour, getting your stuff done, how can you expect to like pour into other people? And sometimes it can get hard. I've experienced this, like someone in your downline or on your team is having a plexus emergency, which I've heard someone say there is no such thing as a plexus emergency. And I wrote that down. But it like, you can be, okay, I'm about to do my power hour. And then someone's like, hey, can we please jump on a call because of something? Or, hey, so-and-so, this order was wrong, or whatever the case may be. Oh my gosh, I got to join. Can we do, I don't know. You got to take care of you first, get the important stuff done first so that you're taken care of. And that way you can like pour into other people, and then you can do that. So don't forget to take care of yourself first. They say in the business, width is wealth, and then depth is security in the business. And that's what you do. You build up and develop people wide and then deep, so it duplicates. And that's one of the first things she said with duplication is taking care of yourself first before you pour into your downline. So those were my biggest takeaways.
Hey, everybody. So I want to jump in and kind of paint a picture for everybody of where you can be and where you are now and where you will be. I can visualize where I was last year, going to Ruby Retreat as a brand new Ruby, taking everything in. It was like I was starstruck. There was so much going on, absolutely gorgeous homes, like those cabins Natalie was just talking about. Like pictures just don't do it justice. It is literally incredible. When you walk through these doors, it's just like, it's heaven. And I walked in and I thought, wow, I just cannot wait to bring someone on my team here. Like I want somebody to experience this with me. And I had that vision last year, and going in, and the information that I was able to soak in last year as a Ruby was completely different going back as an Emerald. This year, we touched on some of the same topics, even like emotional maturity with Brittany Howard and the same speakers, but it just hits different every time you go. Last year, I remember I was in such a growing phase. I was in a growing phase and I was dreaming big. And this year I went in like a leadership growth, and it's like peeling back like an onion. There was so much that I was able to absorb just on like a leadership level this year that I probably wouldn't have even absorbed last year. So going to these events year after year is crucial because you're gonna get something new every single time. The information is just vital. The vibes that you even get from the room when Brittany Howard is up there speaking like 5 feet in front of you, she is literally preaching to you the same that she is getting paid for by corporate. She is right there just drilling into you. I remember we had a breakout session in the very beginning. We had to just pair up with somebody, and I'm walking around, and for some reason I didn't have a partner. And she's like, do you have a partner? And I'm like, no. She's like, I will be your partner. So she stepped up, and she was my first person that I got to speak to during the retreat. And it just felt so nice that she didn't look at me as somebody. She just came in, stepped into a position, and just did the breakout session with me like I was anybody else. The one-on-one training, I cannot get that anywhere else. I was able to sit there eating lunch, having one-on-one coaching with Christina Williams. In the same hour, I was able to turn around, have one-on-one coaching with Chris Rosenkrantz, and then the twins, and then ask Fallon a plethora of questions. Go with questions. That's something that I took away from last year. I had a notebook full of questions for each person that I wanted to ask, and tons of my questions that I had going in were answered by the people that I wanted to talk to. So it is definitely an intimate setting. I can recall I went up to Christina, and she's like, why didn't you come to me sooner? I'm like, you know what? I don't really know, but I'm here now and we get to talk. Then another thing that I got to experience this year was bringing a teammate. And it was so good. I remember envisioning it last year, seeing myself there with somebody from my team, and I was able to go there this year with a teammate. And man, it feels so good walking in there and saying, listen, I know I have led this person to be here, and I know they will lead somebody to be here as well. But next year, I have an even bigger dream of having more of my team there. And I want this to be an experience for all of us. I want us to be able to just walk through those doors and just dominate. So it is just an incredible thing. I feel like these events, no matter where you are, if you're a Ruby, Senior Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, or even a Diamond, you get big takeaways from this trip. Doesn't matter where you are in this business, and you learn something new every single year. Last year's Ruby Retreat training was my favorite training that I went throughout the entire year. I went on Brittany Howard's on her YouTube, and I watched them over and over throughout the year. And I'm watching, as I see in the chat, she's uploading them all right now. They're available for you. Dive into this training. It is going to be one of your best resources that you can get. They touch on so many areas of your business. Don't sleep on this training. It is the best training that you can get. And one thing that, before I pass it on to Natalie, Christina Williams, she said something that stuck out to me. Maybe it was food, maybe I was hungry, but she said, don't go to sleep without doing your chicken nuggets. And that just simply meant, do not go to sleep without doing your IPA. That's the little bits that you can do every single day to keep your business going and going strong. Keep doing your IPA every single day. And if you get in bed and you didn't do it yet, get out of your bed, do your IPA, and then go back to bed, because you will regret it. You can work part-time. You cannot work sometimes in this business. It is super, super important to get those done before you go to bed. So I'm going to pass it on to Natalie.
Yes, that was so, it's so hard to add anything else to what you all have shared. I was just so incredibly grateful to be there. Ruby Retreat was, so this is my first Ruby Retreat, just because the years prior, either it's been something with my health or having a baby or something like that, the dates never aligned for me. And I'm just telling you right now, I can't believe that I missed years of this because it was the most intimate trainings. Like the girls have said, it's just, you get to really break bread with these amazing leaders that we've learned from these past few years, and they're regular people. And that's so encouraging to me when I can sit down and be like, oh my gosh, you struggled with that? Me too, or just hearing about their parenting and like how they do life. And like, you're an actual real person. You're not a robot. You don't have to be a robot to be a diamond. And I'm like, man, that is just so encouraging. Like, you are flawed. I'm flawed. We can still get there. And so to me, that opportunity was just so valuable. And I just take so much from that, because it is just something that we don't get to experience. Even like a convention, if you go to a convention, it's like, you know how it is. It's so much going on. There's so many people, but this was so intimate. So I just really want to encourage you to get to Ruby Retreat. Whatever you need to do to get to Ruby Retreat, get there. It is amazing. There's so many things that were discussed that were honestly just planted in my mind and heart forever. I loved when they broke down coaching, because coaching is something that as your team grows, you're going to do more of, right? And they spoke about, how sometimes we want to fix people and we want to fix people's problems and we just want to, solve everybody's problems. But really, we're not there for that. We're there to lead people so that they can find their own solutions. And that was really enlightening for me. I love this. They said coaching is not teaching or training. Coaching is talking to someone and giving them feedback for what they are sharing with you. It is an interactive experience. Okay. So if you think coaching is just training someone, it's not. Like, we can do videos for that. We can do books for that. And I think that's going to save you a lot of time. For me, that was just really, really good to hear that, that I'm not supposed to solve everybody's problems. And that sometimes we just need to go to a therapist. Yes, I said what I said. Sometimes you just got to go to therapy and get things straight and get your life aligned. But it was just so good to just hear that and getting that input from these leaders. Like the coaching training was just really good. Personally, I am just so humble that we had Natalie speak. I'm just so proud of that, because I think for us to have like our leader be training at an event like this was just so incredible, and just speaks volumes at like where our team is going, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal to be up there and be given that opportunity. And she killed it. She absolutely killed it. And I was just so proud of her, and just proud that we get to have her as our upline. I'm like not even trying to get emotional with this, but I was just so incredibly proud of her. And it just really touched me that we get to have an upline that has so much value to add, not just for us, but for others. That's a big deal. And so I was just really really happy and excited to hear her speak and her keynote, which was so good. So there's just so much to say, but get there. Like, just do whatever you can to get there, because it was an amazing experience. And I mean, I'm still looking through my notes. Like, I want to go through all of my notes, because it was so much value that was added to our lives, to our businesses, personal lives. And so, yeah, just get there.
Thank you so much, Nat. We're running over, so I won't keep it too long, but we'll run right over to the Pink Power training. But the thing that I was going to say was the overwhelming theme of all the trainings, and what it all boiled down to was the need to get very detailed clarity. Clarity is one of the most important things that you can do for your business right now. And so by clarity, I mean, write your vision down, write your why down, write your purpose down, write your identity down, and write your goals down. Write it all down in extreme clarity. Take a day, take yourself out on a date and write all of this down, because when you have clarity, then you have vision and you know where you're going. Put Ruby Retreat down on your goals. Just take the time to get extremely clear, and that's going to help you so much. Happy Magic Week, y'all. I want to see so many people get in that Nike gift card, helping so many people get that Nike gift card. Y'all, this is a really, really awesome month to help people. I've had so many people interested in getting, going silver, getting that. Now is the time to help people. Okay. Think less about yourself and more about other people. And happy Magic Week. Talk to you soon.